Hi you guys, I'm coming on here today to start to talk about relationships and mistakes that I've done in the past, things that I've learned, and sort of tips that I have for you guys um, about relationships or even just things that I've learned along the way that might be able to help one of you or some of you guys. So let's get started. I think the first main thing is definitely do not go seeking a relationship if you're not emotionally or mentally ready for one. Um, do not fall into like this whole peer pressure thing that I know can happen a lot in high school and I know can happen a lot in university as well. You see everyone in your class who have relationships, you see people who are going out to dinners, you see girls who get roses on Valentine's Day and like have like this, perfect relationship. And although, I can completely understand that this is something you might want, I highly, highly suggest against it because if you're not emotionally or mentally ready for one, there is like a 50% chance that it's not going to work out because you're not ready. Because you just either don't feel like being in a relationship or you're not in the stage of your life where you feel like you can focus or give enough energy to a relationship and all of that. And I feel like it's very important in this case, in this instance, to just ask yourself why you want a relationship. And I can bet you the majority of you guys are going to say because my friends have one. Or because I'm the only single person. Which I understand sucks. I've been single for a long, long time. And David is like the first like serious relationship I've been in, and I'm so lucky that my that my first like serious relationship is with someone who I want to spend the rest of my life with, someone who I'm creating a family with and everything. But that isn't the case for a lot of people. A lot of people's first relationships don't end well or just, aren't aren't successful for very long. And I feel like the biggest mistake in trying to be in a relationship because other people are is because timing is everything, you guys. And I'm pretty sure this isn't the first time you heard it. People have probably told you 100 times, hey, you know what? The time will come, you will meet someone, you will date someone, and, everything will fall into place. And it really is like that. I can't explain how many times like I said, I was single before I dated Davide. I was actually single, but I was like dating, going out with different guys. And I remember just looking back, like recently when I was thinking about doing this topic, I was looking back and I was like, how stupid was I? Like, I was going after guys who clearly told me from the beginning that they didn't want anything serious from me. Like, they didn't want anything serious. They didn't want a serious relationship. They didn't want to commit yet. They were too young, blah, blah, blah. The excuses that guys and girls sometimes will use. Because either they're just not someone who can commit to a relationship or they just feel like they're too young to be in a serious relationship. Which, another thing, you guys, I don't think that's true. I don't think there's an age where you're going to be like, oh, hey, I'm 25, I have to get married now. No, that doesn't exist, you guys. And there's no such thing as like, oh, I'm 17, like I can't commit to this guy because I'm way too young. It's not plausible, you guys. It's like what your heart feels and what your mind feels. And if you're comfortable with someone, then you're comfortable with them. Then you feel safe with them. Then you can have a serious relationship with them and everything. But I feel like the most important part here is don't let age be a factor, okay? Because I feel like so many of the guys that I dated wanted a relationship but were too scared to commit to one. Because you're like, oh, you know what, like I'm 25, like why should I be in a serious relationship? I have my whole life. You guys, if anything we've learned from COVID is that you don't know that you have the rest of your life to meet someone. And as scary as that sounds, but that's true. That's what COVID at least has taught me, is that even though I'm young, that doesn't mean I have the rest of my life. That doesn't mean anyone has the rest of their lives, to be honest. And, you know, we cannot let ourselves be told by other people. And again, it's all about peer pressure, you guys. If you're someone, if you're a guy or a girl, this can happen to girls too, but very rarely. But if you're a guy and you have friends and you're like, hey, you know what, I met this girl and it's getting serious and, you know, I really like her. And then you have friends who are like, dude, you're way too young to get married. Like, you're way too young to commit to this person. Don't let that affect you, okay? If your friends are not ready to get married and are not ready to settle down, you do you. You do you. But if you want to get married and if you're ready to commit to this girl, do not let whatever anyone says influence your mind and your emotions. Because they don't know what you're thinking. They don't know what you're capable of. They don't know what you're like in a relationship. You know, no matter how much time you spend with them, with your girlfriend or with your partner, your friends do not know what you're actually like in the relationship. And this is something I don't understand about friends, is because if you see that your friend is clearly happy with this person, you would want to encourage them to continue the relationship and be like, you know what, your relationship is going really well, you know, where do you see it going in the future? And stuff like that, instead of being like, oh, we're only this certain age, you know, we shouldn't be thinking about marriage. Anyway, ranting. The second thing I've learned is always respect yourself. Why do I say this? I didn't respect myself one damn bit in any other relationship I've been in. I literally put myself down so many times in relationships before I met David, because I didn't feel like I was worth anything to these guys. Like, they told me in the beginning, like, I don't want anything serious, but still, you know, like, we women have this weird imagination that we're gonna be the girls who are gonna change these guys' minds. Like, we're gonna be the ones who, like, are gonna swoop in and be like, hey, you know what, I'm Cinderella. Like, you know, you're gonna wanna marry me. And we put this in our heads. And through doing that, we respect the disrespect that we're given by guys. And again, this isn't just guys. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of women out there who do this crap to guys. And it's like this thing, you can't let yourself be brought down in a relationship. And this is something that my parents have told me 100 times. I cannot tell you how many guys I've sort of talked about around my parents. And they've been like, what the hell are you doing, Jess? They've literally said that to me. They literally said, like, what the hell are you doing? It's like, you're a girl, you're very nice, you're very kind, you're caring. You're putting in all this freaking effort for this guy, and he's not giving you back anything. That's not a relationship. You don't even want to start a relationship with someone who's like that. With someone who takes up all your energy and your time, and when it comes time for them to do that, they always have excuses for not being able to. And I'm gonna backtrack a little bit because I want to give you guys like a little story time about this guy I dated. About this guy I was seeing, and I'm not gonna name his name. I'm not gonna say who he is. Me and him are still friends, but, and this isn't to bash him. Like, I really think like I was not the girl that he wanted to be in a relationship with, which is why it didn't work out. And I really feel like he has grown throughout the years now. But I was dating this guy who, okay, I'm gonna tell you guys the exact moment I knew something was wrong. Okay. No, I'm gonna start from before that. When we started dating. So we've been dating for a few months, and then we wouldn't talk for a long time, then we would, you know, like sort of reconnect and then disconnect and then reconnect again. So the third time of reconnecting, My mom already told me, she's like, Jess, why do you keep going back to this guy? It's like every single time you guys are dating, I'm calling it dating because we really weren't dating, but every single time you guys are like talking or communicating, like he always bails on you. Like he always has some excuse for not being present. And so the third time we're dating, my mom tells me that. I'm like, no, well, he's changed. Um, so he's changed. I'm telling myself these things, you know, convincing myself that he's changed. And then it comes to the time where we're supposed to go out to have dinner, go out to dates, blah, blah, blah. And we're going out to dates. And, oh, wait, flashback even a bit more. The second time we reconnected, we had made up an arrangement to meet up in the center of Torino. And I get ready, and mind you guys, I don't live in Torino, I live further away, I live outside of the city, and with the bus it takes like 30 minutes for me to get there, 30, 40 minutes. And so I go there, and we made like arrangements to meet at like noon or like 1 o'clock. So I head out, so the night before, like literally like 6 hours before this, or 9 hours before this, he had confirmed that we were gonna meet up. Like he didn't say anything to me. And mind you, he had the whole fucking like morning to tell me if something was not okay. Like if plans had changed. He had like 12 hours in the morning, like 4 hours of the morning to tell me this. But no. So I get my ass in the bus. I travel 40 minutes down to the center of Torino. I sit in the like the main piazza of Torino, and I sit there and I'm like looking at my clock. So like now it's like about noon, like about 12:15. And I'm like, oh well, you know, maybe he's a bit late. So I text him. I'm like, hey, are you on your way? No reply. So I sit down on like one of there's like benches there and stuff like that. So I sit there. And mind you, like I'm all glammed up, so like it's clearly obvious that I'm waiting for someone. And I text him again, and it was like 12:30. I'm like, where are you? And he doesn't reply. And then I continue waiting. And mind you, my mom's like texting me throughout this. My mom doesn't know this. Like I told her he showed up. He did not fucking show up. I'm sorry, Mom. I didn't tell you this, but he did not show up. And then like it keeps going. Like every 15 minutes, I'm texting him like, where are you? Like what's going on? Then at 1:20, so like an hour and 20 minutes after we were supposed to meet up, I call him, and he answers. He's like, what's up? I'm like, where are you? And he was like, what do you mean where am I? I'm at work. And I talked to him, and I'm like, what do you mean you're at work? And he's like, yeah, like they called me in last minute to come work. And I'm like, what time did they call you? And he's like, yeah, they called me at like 9 o'clock in the morning and I have to go work. I'm like, oh, and you didn't have the decency to call me and say, hey, I have to work and I can't come anymore. He literally made me wait 1 hour and 20 minutes at a piazza, glammed up, with makeup on, clearly embarrassing, okay, because there's other people there and they, like, let me say something. When a girl's waiting for a guy, you can tell, okay, she's either got a lot of makeup on, she's dressed really nicely, and blah, blah. So it was clearly obvious to these people at the piazza that I was waiting for someone. And I can imagine the pity they felt for me, okay? I was sitting there for an hour and 20 minutes, and this guy didn't show. And he doesn't bother to inform me that he's not showing up. And why am I telling you guys this? Because you guys can guess this isn't the last time he would ever do this. And me being selfish, weird me, okay? Not sure. Selfish isn't the right way. Me being stupid, me, okay? I started making up excuses. I'm like, well, it's not that big of a deal.
Janice. Okay, I'm talking to old you. It is a big deal. It is a big deal if a guy makes a girl wait 1 hour and 20 minutes for him to frickin' show for a date.
Even if a girl waits 10 frickin' minutes, if the guy does not text or inform you that he's going to be late,
that is a no. Okay? I'm saying this to anyone else who has gone through this and is like making excuses for these people. It's a no, okay? No respectful person, no person that you want to be in a relationship with who will respect you should ever do this to you. Ever.
alright. So, like I told you guys, I didn't tell my mom. So what I did is I sat at a cafe for another like 2 hours and pretended to be on this date with this guy. And then I went back home. So yeah, another 40 minutes on the bus. So that was like a total of 5 hours that I was doing nothing and just pretending to be on a date because this guy didn't show and I didn't want to make him look bad in front of my parents. Newsflash, he did look bad in front of my parents. We'll get to that in a second. So, yeah, anyway. So, flash forward to the third time we reconnect. You might be thinking, Jess, what is wrong with you? You clearly have some issues. I probably do, okay? That was before I met Davide though, so. And, okay, so the third time we went out, like we reconnected, we would make appointments again to like have dates, meet up and stuff. And he would cancel, like we had not seen each other in like 3 weeks at this point. Mind you, he lives in the same freaking city as me. He lives in the same freaking city. My house to his house by car is like 10 freaking minutes. And he always had an excuse for not showing up. Oh, I have to work, I have to take my mom there, I have to take this there, I have to go visit my friends, I have to go do this. Like he acted like he had so much freaking shit to do, but he didn't, believe me. And then comes the time where I said, you know what, I think it's time you meet my parents. God, was I dumb. So, because I thought, you know, if you meet my parents, maybe there's more pressure for you to actually, you know, show up. Okay. So, okay. So, I basically arranged for him to come on a Monday. I don't remember what day it was. I think it was Monday. No, a Wednesday. And I arranged for him to come around like noon. Noon comes, you know, my parents have made lunch. My parents are waiting. You know, they're not going anywhere because they know he's showing up, you know. Around 3 o'clock, he texts me back. He's like, sorry, I can't come today. I cannot tell you guys how embarrassing that was to tell my parents that this guy is not showing up the day he has to meet them. You guys, this isn't like you getting coffee with your freaking friends, okay? This is you meeting the parents of your girlfriend. If you don't freaking show, you ain't gonna come in the house, okay? There's no way if you don't show up for the first meeting that they're gonna accept you or gonna like you. Period, okay? So then he says, okay,
you know what, I'm gonna come on Saturday.
I said, okay. I tell my parents he's coming on Saturday. My parents already are like, okay, yeah. Let's see if he shows up.
and so he's gonna come on Saturday. Saturday comes, he says he's gonna come around again like 1 p.m. 1 p.m. comes, he doesn't text. 2 p.m. comes, he doesn't text. 3 p.m., nothing. 4 p.m., nothing. 5 p.m., nothing. 5:30, he texts me and he's like,
I'm on my way.
I was like, excuse me? He's like,
Yeah, I'm on my way to your house.
I was like, where were you? He's like,
Oh, I went to visit my grandma who lives on the other side of the fucking city of Torino.
I was like, wait, so the day where you're supposed to meet my parents, at noon, he told me this by the way, he said at midday, he took off to go see his grandma, who lives on the other fucking side of the city. Mind you, I told you guys, we live 40 minutes away from the city with the car. Sometimes 20, sometimes 40, depends on traffic. But if you're going through the city, you bet it's gonna take you 40 minutes to get through there. So he went at noon, 1 hour before he had to be at my house, and drove a way that would have taken him at least 1 hour to get to see his grandma. And then he stayed with her for 4 fucking hours before returning. And he's like,
I'm sorry, I didn't know there would be that much traffic.
I'm like, dude, if you wanted to see your grandma, you could have left at 9 o'clock in the morning to see her. I was like, there's no excuse for you to see your grandma 1 hour before you have to show up at my house. And again, you guys, me and him are friends now, but I'm just giving examples of what not to do to someone, okay? If you really want a relationship with this person, do not behave that way. Okay, lo and behold, he shows up to my house. I'm like, cool. I introduced him to my dad because my mom wasn't there at the time. She was like, I don't know, getting groceries or something. So I sit with him outside. It was like, I think like 6 o'clock at this time. And he's like,
No, yeah, he's like, in about like 30 minutes I have to leave.
what? What do you mean in 30 minutes you have to leave? He's like,
Yeah, I have to go pick up my mom because she's working and I have to take her home.
and I was like, oh, so you can come back after that. And he's like,
No, I can't. I have other stuff to do.
so wait, you show up 4 or 5 hours later than you're supposed to. You come to my house. You introduce yourself to my parents, and 30 minutes after, you leave. I was like, what kind of impression do you think this is making on them? Like, they're not gonna like you. I was like, they already don't like you, but they're not gonna like you at all. So my mom shows up about like, I think like 15 minutes after that. She meets him, and literally 10 minutes after that, we go inside, and he's like, well, I have to go back home. I'm leaving. And my mom's like,
You're leaving already? And she's like, when did you get here?
he's like, oh.
About 30 minutes ago.
And my mom like looks at me, she's like,
What do you like about him? She's like, what do you like about this guy? Like, she's like, because so far I haven't seen anything I like about him.
which I don't disagree with. Like, I was just so naive. Anyway, story time over, you guys. So, if you feel he's joking around, not taking it seriously, you know, not respecting your values and things that you really value in a relationship, don't consider it. Don't even consider them to be in a relationship with. And the final thing I've learned is please, what was I gonna say? Please listen to your family's opinion, okay? But there's a lot of crime movies where family members don't listen to the opinion that their family members have of the person they're dating. And the reason I think this is a big red flag is because your family knows you best, okay? Typically, your family knows you best. But if you have a friend, an aunt, an uncle, anyone who you feel like really knows who you are, introduce your partner to them at some point, okay? And if they have a bad impression about this person, if they say, from the moment they meet them, like 10 seconds after, they're like, no, like, I don't like this person gives me a bad vibe, even if they don't meet them, even if you tell them about them, and they're like, these things that they're doing isn't really normal, and these things that they're doing is like a red flag to me, please listen to them, okay? Because like I said, these are people who you trust, these are people who you know, these are people who know you well, and they will understand right away if something's not working. And that was the case for me. Like, my parents told me multiple times with the different guys I was dating, I was seeing. They were like, just, this guy's not working for you. And they were right all of the time when they told me that. Okay, and I just wish I had listened to them sooner, so I wouldn't have wasted all that time with people who didn't deserve my energy and my time. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's worth more to spend that time around family, around friends, around people who love you, people who respect you, than waste it with someone who doesn't have any respect for you. Now, another thing that I've learned about these crime cases is that if it's your kids, or if it's your mother, and they've had personal contact with this person alone, or if they've been alone with this person in a situation, and then after that they tell you, hey, you know what? I don't like this person. And they tell you this, please respect what they're saying, because as much as you want to believe your relationship is perfect and everything is flawless and everything's beautiful, that might not be the case for you. So I really highly suggest that you guys, take the advice that your family's giving you. If you have older brothers, and like I do, I have 3 older brothers. If you have older brothers and they're like, whoa, like something that this person's doing is not okay. Or if you have an older sister, or whoever, and then, especially if they know this person already, like if you're dating someone who some of your family members actually know personally, and they're like, no, like we've not heard good things about this person whatsoever, we don't suggest you date him. Listen to their advice, okay? Like I said, I think parents and people who really know you have an instinct, have a sixth sense when it comes to you, that when they see something or when they feel something, they just know, okay? Let me tell you something, like my mom and my dad, when I'm not happy or when I feel stressed or when I feel upset, they will know. They don't even have to ask me. Like, they will just sense that something is wrong with me. And throughout all the people I was seeing, the guys I was seeing, they could sense that. They could be like, you know what, you're not happy, why are you with these people? And that's pretty much all I have for you guys. I'll see if I can come up with more suggestions. But the final thing I want to say is, like, what made me feel comfortable with David, with the guy I'm with right now. He respects me. He cares about what I want. He values my opinion. And he just values me in general. And I believe me, when you meet a guy who does all of that, you're gonna know. Or when you meet a girl, or when you meet your partner who does all of this for you, you will know immediately whether it's the right person. And my parents love him. They truly love him. And I think that was the shocking thing when you first introduced him to them. They were like, he's so amazing, like he's a great guy, like he's like so different than the guys you dated before. And of course this might be due to the age difference, because if you guys don't know, like we're 10 years apart, me and him. So so it might be that, he's generally more mature. He has a job, he's busy with other stuff. it might be that, but I also think like even younger guys can be like that, but you just have to find the right one. You have to find someone who just knows what they want and goes after that. And, you know, I think right now in my relationship I couldn't be any happier. You know, we're expecting our baby girl soon, and, you know, I live with him now. I've officially moved my address to his, and we're just happy. You know, we both support each other, we both know what each other likes, what each other doesn't like. You know, we like spending time with both of our families a lot, and yeah, it's just, you know, there's nothing to complain about. Of course we do fight from time to time, but it's like stupid arguments. It's not like arguments that are serious or anything like that. And, you know, in the end, I could never imagine my life without him. Even if we argue, you know, it's become like a comfort, happiness zone that I'm in right now. You know, I feel happy with who I am, I feel loved for who I am, and that's what every relationship should be like. So I hope you all can find that person in your life. If you have found them, hold on to them and take it one step at a time, you guys. So thank you so much for watching this long and blabbery video today. But I hope I managed to help you and give you guys advice about anything that you think you might be going through, or anything you've experienced. And please link in the comments down below, or write in the comments down below, any experiences you've had, any bad experiences you've had in relationships, or any good ones, or funny stories that you could tell me. Because I would love to know like what you guys have been through, or any bizarre like relationship things. And that's all for today, you guys. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I will leave my Instagram link down below for you guys, or on the screen, so you guys can follow me on there. And I'll see you guys in the next video, okay? Bye, and have a wonderful week, if I don't see you before then. Bye.